Major and minor chords make up the core personality of every chord progression you hear in modern music. Just every single one. In that case, having a very reliable capability to play any major chord or any minor chord anywhere on the fretboard becomes super important. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. Today you will learn every single minor chord on the fretboard. All right, well, not every single one. We're actually only going to map A minor triads to the fingerboard. But it's going to be every single close voice A minor chord you can play. Every single one. There will be no other versions that you can actually get off the fretboard. So it's going to be a powerful sort of holistic exercise. I'm going to explain what minor chords are first. Just do a little quick review. How are they built? Where do they come from? If you already know this, just stay tuned for a review or fast forward to the zoom in. But if you don't, if you're confused about what minor chords are, that's going to help a little bit. Then I'm going to prove out the thing I said at the top, which is major and minor chords make up every single chord progression. Well, what about all those weird chords like C sharp 7 sharp 9? What about that? And then we'll zoom in and we'll map this architecture to the fingerboard that allows you to play every single version of an A minor chord, and then you'll be able to take that architecture and use it to play any minor chord you ever run across. Okay, good stuff coming. So first let's just review what a minor chord is. We're going to start with a major chord. That's sort of crazy. Here's an A major chord. A major bar chord, 5th fret, right? Even though there are 6 notes ringing out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are only 3 notes in this chord. Let me tell you what they are. So it's A, E, A, C sharp, E, A. So 3 A's, 2 E's, and a C sharp. So really only A, C sharp, and E are the only notes in that chord. And here they are conveniently here on the D, G, and B string. This is an A major triad. This is the root, the 3rd note, and the 5th note of an A major scale. Root 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Root 3, 5 of an A major scale. A minor chord is simply that same architecture, but with that middle note, that 3rd, down a half step to the flat 3 or the minor 3rd. That chord comes from a minor scale. It's the root, the flat 3, and the 5 from that scale. Root 2, flat 3, 4, 5. So that's where minor chords come from. They're the root, the flat 3rd, and the 5th of a minor scale. So, now, at the top I said major and minor chords are the vast majority of all chord progressions. So you might challenge me, and rightfully so. Well, what about a dominant 7 sharp 9 chord? And what about a 13, flat 13 and a sharp 11 and all that stuff, right? What about all that? Inside of each one of those sophisticated chords is a major or minor triad. So let me just show you how that works. Here's a very simple chord progression in the key of C. C, A minor, D minor to G. Right? So that's a major chord, C major, A minor, there's a minor triad there, minor chord, D minor, another minor chord, and G major. Now I can use really, really sophisticated, sort of dense, much more dense and sophisticated sounding chords to do that same chord progression. For example, C major 7, A minor 11, D minor 9, G13. But in each one of those chords, even though they're very advanced, there's a major or minor triad inside of it. So the C major chord, C major 7, that has a major C major triad in it. The A minor 11 has an A minor triad in it. The D minor 9 has a D minor triad in it. And the G13 has a G major triad in it. So inside, even the most sophisticated chords are these major and minor triads. So it's very important. Getting a really reliable sort of triadic capability on the guitar allows you to attack any of those chords, right? Anything that comes to you, you can pretty much play it. And that kind of capability is really, really important. Okay, let's zoom in and we're going to basically map every single close voice A minor triad that's available on the entire fretboard in this exercise. Here we go. Let's map those A minor triads onto the fretboard. Every single A minor close voice triad, we're going to map every single one. Close voice simply means the root, that flat 3, and the 5, the 3 notes of the triad, are all within 1 octave. They're as close as they can be together. We're going to map them all using string sets. Since a triad has three notes, it maps to a set of 3 strings very, very easily. The guitar has 4 sets of 3 strings. I'll show you. This first set is G, B, and E. The next set of 3 strings would be D, G, and B. The next set would be A, D, and G. And that last set would be E, A, and D. So we're just going to use those sets of 3 strings to map the triads across the neck in 3 different positions. So we're going to start here at the 5th fret. Because we have a big old A minor bar chord here, it's going to help anchor us to these shapes, right? So let me show you how this inverts across these sets of strings, and I'm just going to give you the fret numbers. The first A minor on that top set of strings is 5, 5, 5. You can sort of recognize that at the top of your bar chord, right? The way the triads invert across string sets is that top note just simply goes down an octave, and the other 2 notes the same remain the same. And now on this string set, your A minor chord is 7, 5, 5. Now, same thing happens. This note goes down an octave, and on the next set of strings, your A minor chord is 7, 7, 5. Same thing happens when we switch to the next string set. That top note goes down an octave. And now on this final set of strings, the A minor chord is 8, 7, 7. So there are 4 voicings on these sets of 3 strings, right? That's A minor, that's A minor, that's A minor, and that's A minor. 4 A minor chords right there. The next time these 3 notes occur on the sets of strings, in other words, they iterate here, is on the 8th fret. And this first one on that top set of strings again looks like that. Now I'm going to give you the fret numbers in a second, but let's just say this doesn't look like an A minor chord to you at all. You're like, what is that, right? Because we left our sort of safe spot here. Now we're up here. I don't understand what that is. Let me just show you how to do a little archaeology. When you run across a shape you're unfamiliar with, and you may be familiar with this, but if you're not, or if you run across something that you're not familiar with, watch how I sort of deconstruct this and figure out what this is. This is a minor chord, right? It doesn't look like an A minor chord to me. Let's just say I'm unfamiliar with it. Watch how this looks like an A minor chord. Go down here to this D chord. Very familiar shape, right? Take this up a whole step, it's E. Take it up another fret, it's F. Another whole step, it's G. One more whole step, it's A. Flat the 3rd. Right, so I've just done a little archaeology, trying to attach it to something that I already know. Now it looks a little more familiar to me. Now it's not so strange. Just a little interruption there to just show you some archaeology when you come across something that might be new. Okay, here we are on that top set of strings, back to the task at hand. A minor on this set of strings in the 8th position is 9, 10, 8. That top note goes down an octave, and on the next set of strings you have 10, 9, 10. Top note down an octave, and on the next set of strings you have 12, 10, 9. Top note down an octave, and now you have 12, 12, 10. So in this position, we have another 4 voicings for A minor. That's 8 so far. The last position where they all invert again is the 12th fret, and the top set of strings looks like this. That is 14, 13, 12. It's an A minor chord on that top set of strings. Top note goes down an octave, and on the next set of strings you have 14, 14, 13. Top note goes down an octave. Now you have 15, 14, 14. top note goes down an octave. Now you have 17, 15, 14. So another 4 voicings for A minor. So now in total we have 12 different voicings for an A minor chord. Right? Okay, that's a pretty cool thing. That mapping, you can move it down a whole step and now you've got all the G minor triads, right? The best way to do that is to take it around the circle of fifths, do that once or twice in your lifetime and you will master triads, minor triads. I want to show you one more thing, which is how they invert along a single set of strings. And now we're going to dive into the theory a little bit deeper. We're going to start on this D, G, and B string triad shape here, this A minor, which is on the 7, 5, 5 frets. But let's find out what these notes are. This is the root. This is our A. Root, flat 3, 5. The way triads invert along a single set of strings is that each one takes a turn on each string. It's just sort of the law of permutation. We're going to concentrate on this lowest note, root, flat 3, 5, right? Our next inversion, the lowest note will be the flat 3, which happens to be here, right? We put that on the D string, and now our inversion is flat 3, 5, root. Root, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 5, root. And you know what's going to happen next. That fifth is going to be on the bottom now. And now we have 5, root, flat 3. If we were to invert it again, we'd come back to the root position triad, right? Because we've done 3 inversions. Root on the bottom, flat 3 on the bottom, 5 on the bottom. It's worth your effort to do that for all of the other sets of 3 strings. Do that, take the entire thing around the circle of fifths once or twice, 3 times in your lifetime, and you will have a mastery of minor triads. Okay, before this video, maybe you had a few A minor chords. Maybe you knew Stairway to Heaven. So you had a few A minors. Now you have 12. Now you have A minor chords all over the neck, right? And as I mentioned before, this architecture, just move the whole thing up a whole step, you have all the B minor chords. Move it down a whole step, you have all the G minor chords. If you take this architecture around the circle of fifths, you will have played every single close voicing on the guitar for every single minor chord in every single key. If you do that exercise 2 or 3 times in your life, you will master the minor chord. That's just the best, the fastest way to do it. Okay, I've tabbed all this stuff out. That's on Patreon. Head on over there if you'd like to get the tabs for this. And if you do decide to support the channel over on Patreon, I thank you in advance. I can't think of anything I'd rather do with my time than share my information and knowledge with you. Patreon makes that all possible for me, so I thank you very much. Okay, minor chords, you can master them. This is the way to do it. Just go back and get this lesson under your fingertips, right? Get it through all those different inversions, up and down those single string sets, and across each one of those positions. Take that around the circle of fifths. You will have mastered the minor chord. All right, I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you next time.